Hey guys, we've got some really exciting news that we want to share with you today. It's been about 3 years since we've had a Mustang on our property. For those of you that have been following us for a while, you may remember our 2018 makeover mares. Well, recently the owner called us up and asked us if we wanted to buy one of those back, and that was a black mare named Ebony that Sid had in that Fort Worth Players Choice event. So obviously we jumped at the opportunity, and we're really excited to show her to you guys and reintroduce her and talk a little bit about her story and why she was so special to us. She's got a very special little addition that tagged along with her, and we can't wait to introduce you guys.
Let's go meet them. All right, here's Ebony here. She's a 9-year-old mare. She's all business kind of mare. She's just been a brood mare for the last 2 years. And this is her baby here. She's got a little bit of attitude right now, just because she hasn't had any handling at all for the last few days, until the last few days. We just started handling and messing with it. And she's kind of taking after her mom a little bit of, we call it Saturday night, a little bit of attitude. And don't misinterpret that as a bad thing. People are like, oh, my horse has got attitude. That means they immediately think they're just bad. Attitude means a little bit of grit and a little bit of stubbornness, okay? This mare is very stubborn, but in a very trainable, teachable way. That makes sense? But when she's got her job figured out, boy, she is on fire. So that's kind of been her story. Is this mare has great personality. She's not a real feely, touchy kind of girl where she loves her snuggles and kisses. She does love handling and touch and all that, but what I'm trying to say is she has a little bit more of a drier personality, but she is all business. And this mare is, you get her on your side, you won't be able to get her off your side. And that's kind of a little bit with this girl here. I can already tell her little filly here is she has a little bit of her mom's attitude, but we like that, huh? Yes, we do. She is a sweetheart. So I'm really excited to see how much grit she has. And she has some more talent maybe from her daddy. I think that combination will really pay off for us.
So going back to the Players' Choice Mustang Makeover, the format that year was that you had about 200 to 300 horses, and they would show you short video clips. You went online and you bid for the opportunity to compete with that horse. So you didn't actually own it, but you had the chance to compete with it. And we kind of fell in love with the same horse. And so tell them a little bit about how that went.
Okay, so Jacqueline always likes to watch these videos is like the day they get released. And they give you a couple weeks to watch them before you bid on them. And the day, literally the deadline, or I should say, not the deadline, when they release them the first day, she's watching every single video. And there's like 200 to 300 horses to watch. Hundreds of horses. So she's going through each one and making notes. And I'm kind of the guy who's like, well, it doesn't change anything. So you always just watch it the day before, the day of the auction, and make your decision. Because it's fresh in my mind. That's how I'm wired. It's fresh in my mind. And usually I kind of instinctively just like what I see is what I shoot for and just go with it. She likes to plan, and then she'll mark them out, and then she'll be like, well, maybe she'll circle them again, and then she'll mark them out again. And she's looking.
I have a coding system.
Yeah, she has like a vetting process of what makes her horses.
I think it's good to look at them a few times. And I think that most people are going to agree with me on this. So you're going to have to let us know in the comments.
Maybe, but hear me out on this. Is that so she gets her emotions involved? And to me, I just see the horse. No. I call it what it is at the moment. And be like, I like it, I don't like it, I move on. Because after all, we don't know any of these horses. None of us have ever touched them. So there's no emotions. To me, it's pick out what they move like, how they respond in the pen, make your decision, and kind of go for gut feeling. And that's how I've done most of my life decisions, big life decisions at least, is just what feels here, I just go with it. And I don't look back and just go forward. But we are different how we vet our horses. So it's interesting that so that's her. I explained that so you understand how we got there.
I picked up some great horses this way. I make my little notes, and sometimes you go back and you'll see something that you didn't see before that makes you dislike the horse, or maybe like it more. Well, anyway, the basis of the story is that out of these 300 horses, I watched all these horses, and the minute I had seen this black mare, and she was about middle of the pack, I was like, I love this horse. Absolutely love her. I like the way she moved. I like how quiet she seemed. She just had a good eye. There was just something that seemed unflappable. And you only have about a 20-second clip, if that. The horses run out of the chute. All you get is their age and their herd management area that they come from. No other information is included, so you don't know how tall they are. Anything else like that. And these were Sid's exact words when he was going to. What did you tell me about picking a horse? You said,
what was, huh?
No mares no mares and nothing little, okay?
Oh,
so
yeah.
those were his exact words. So anyway, I picked this mare out, and I'm in love with her, and I showed her to him on a few different occasions in the month leading up to the auction, and I was like, I really like this horse, but then I would show him like maybe a second opinion, or maybe a second horse that I kind of like, and I'd be like, help me out with these two. And so he'd seen the horse numerous times before this, so the night of the auction comes up, and I'm in there making dinner, and he's watching the horses real quick before the auction starts, and I hear from the living room, he's like, Jacqueline, come in here, I found my horse. And I go into the living room and I look over the chair, and he's sitting there watching the video of Ebony, my horse, that's my horse. And he's like, you can't call dibs. And I'm here to say, I think you can call dibs. If I'm gonna go through the work of watching all the horses first, I get to call dibs. And besides, remember the no mare thing?
No, so this is the deal. In my mind, I don't recall her showing me the horse at all. Like absolutely not even a 0% of my mind going, oh, this is one that Jacqueline likes. I was just watching all 200 videos and just going through these and for like a couple hours now, and all of a sudden I see her and I'm like, oh, here's my horse. And I was just like, hands down, I'm like, this is my number one pick. And then I called Jacqueline over. She was, I think, making dinner or something. And she came over and she's like, that's my horse. And I'm like, no, you can't just claim her because I want her now. So
here's the thing, you know what they say, there's no one more surprised than a husband hearing about his wife's plans for the third time. And I can attest to that. That is so, so true. He knew about this horse for a long time.
I did not.
He forgot. But I picked it out, and all the women watching this are gonna know. All right, so you might be wondering how we, decided whose horse it was gonna be. And this is kind of what happened. Is the year before, I had spent some pretty good money. I mean, it's kind of like a lottery ticket, so you don't own the horse. So I had spent over $1,000 on this one horse that ended up being very, very, very difficult. And this year I had told myself, I had sworn to myself, I'm not spending over $500 to compete with this horse, because you never know what you're getting. You could pick the absolute ugliest looking horse in there and he could be an absolute gem. And vice versa, pick the prettiest one, the best moving one, it could be an absolute crapper. So I told myself, I'm not going over $500, and I had to stick with that when it came down to this. I said, you don't get to bid until this horse goes over $500. After that,
I reminded her.
That. So that's how I chose that. The horse went for $700, and he took that one home. And there was a couple horses down the list, was my second favorite, and I went home with her. And you guys probably remember her too. That beautiful little red mare that I had that I loved so much. And so it ended up working out so well for us, but that's how he ended up with Ebony. And saying all that, and I don't mean to keep talking so long, but she held a lot of sentimental value to the both of us because she was kind of our first pick in that instant attraction that we had to her. And so we both were thrilled for the opportunity to have her back and to see her back in our barn.
So it was one of those deals from the very beginning. I kind of knew I had a pretty good horse, and I mean, we're talking 3 weeks from the wild. I had her jumping in my pickup truck. I had her laying down. Like, I felt so good, and I've done 13 of these other makeovers, and I kind of knew, like, hey, I'm so far ahead. So after about 60 days, I started slowing down. Like, I knew I had the horse to win the event on. I really did, and I'm like, hey, I got to slow down. And I've never been in a 100-day makeover where you slow down. Like, I literally was riding her 15, 20 minutes a day, backing way off, because I knew this mare was going to plateau, and eventually you take a horse this willing and this good-minded, you will gas them out. That's what happened, and then your horse looks better at 60 days than it does actually at the 100-day mark. And I knew that we were at bridleless lead changes. We had a lot going for us, and I knew, I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. And like, that doesn't ever happen. A makeover competitor goes, yeah, guess what? Everybody else is riding their horses around at the makeover event, right? And I'm riding 5 minutes a day. And I'm like, before each class, I would ride her about 5 or 10 minutes and go show her, and then go win the class. I mean, like, so we tied for handling conditioning. I was 7th place on the maneuvers only because I couldn't get out of my own way. I knew I had the horse to win the whole event on, and that was part of my problem, is I knew the pressure. Okay, so if you guys, from a competitor's standpoint, if you ever have a really good horse in your barn, they're actually hard to show because you know you have the horse to win it on if you can just stay out of their way, okay? Most of the time, all the other years, you're there for scratching and clawing all you have, and you're like, if it doesn't go amazing, you're like, well, I didn't think it would, you know, that kind of deal. This mare, she was so good. So anyways, so honestly, the Mustang Maneuvers class, I got in her way, and that's why we were 7th. So we're still in the top 10. And then on the trail class, I did a lot better. I stayed out of her way. I won that class. And then we were reserve champion overall of the makeover event. And I was also crowd's favorite. Fan favorite, I'm sorry, through it all. So she's very special to me. So it goes on, you know, to me to have a horse, and I'll go to one more detail, is during the freestyle, over 10,000 people, because it's 100 days, 10,000 people, I was bridleless. I was doing my flying lead changes, and then I started vaulting off of her, bridleless, and I've never had a horse in that kind of crowd and that kind of pressure to be screaming and hollering and my horse is slowing down. She'd go out there and just start slowing down, and I'm like, what amazing horse. I mean, I laid her down, did the whole process, and she never, ever got scared. So she's never spooked a day in her life from my whole time with her. I'm talking like that mare is the most confident horse. So I'm really excited to see what her baby's like. She's actually a granddaughter by Metallic Cat. Breeders kind of, what they wanted to do, why they bred her, was because they're trying to throw some bone and get some substance back on these quarter horses. So it was kind of their thought of doing that, which I think they got a great breeding program. I know I'll probably get some haters over this going, why are you breeding a Mustang? The people that love it is going, man, what a great horse. And I'm thinking, this little baby, I can't wait to hurry up and start her here in a couple of years, get to see what she's like. What a perfect combination to have the cutting talent. Her daddy's won over 21,000. With that kind of talent and the Mustang with this mare's mind, I'm looking forward to see what we get.
And it's something that, you know, we're not personally weighing in on how we feel about, you know, the whole breeding Mustang thing or whether we would do it or not, but we were really, like I said, very excited to have the baby, very excited to see what she's going to be, and she's so cute.
So if you guys got names, suggestions,
yes,
awesome, hit us up. We would like to stick with kind of the Spanish, maybe perhaps some Spanish names, because she is a Mustang, right? Her mama.
Probably something unique.
Yeah,
something cool.
And we'll definitely keep.
What is her dad's name? Rusty Blue Metallic.
Anyways, that's we're really excited to see what we go. Maybe some future plans for Ebony is maybe we'll look into some of the celebrity freestyles that we've been invited to. Maybe some different big freestyle events. Yeah. She's definitely one that is got the mind to do whatever I may throw at her to accomplish. So that's kind of what we're looking forward of Ebony here, but what a very special horse. And there's also a video that we have at 87 days or 83 days from the wild.
Yeah. I'll include some of that.
Yeah, we'll maybe throw that in this video here, a link to see what she looked like from the wild, 83 days going into it, just kind of what she looked like at that point. So yeah.
We're gonna keep you guys updated on her life here and her next adventures coming up and kind of what we do with her here on out. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you later.